The camera tracks a 21-mile stretch of water where the rhythm of global commerce never stops. Every 6 minutes, a massive oil tanker carves a path through the waves, a steel giant navigating a narrow, unforgiving vein. This is the Strait of Hormuz. 21 million barrels of oil flow through this passage every single day. It is the fuel for your car, the power grid for your home, and the energy that keeps your digital world alive. The strait sits as a jagged bottleneck between Iran and Oman, a choke point connecting the Persian Gulf to the Indian Ocean. At its most restricted point, the shipping lanes narrow to a mere 2 miles. There is no open sea here. Every drop of water is claimed by a sovereign nation. There is no detour. There is no way around. 5 centuries ago, this stage hosted a struggle for spices. Today, it holds the world's economy in a grip that tightens. If these waters close, the global market does not just shift, it breaks. This is the most dangerous, most vital artery on Earth. 5 centuries ago, the prize was not oil, but spice. The Portuguese held the Strait of Hormuz, turning the island into an impenetrable fortress. Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent ordered the legendary Admiral Piri Reis to shatter their grip. He struck, captured Muscat, but the island held firm. Piri Reis returned to Istanbul, and the Sultan met his failure with the executioner. 2 years later, Saidi Ali Reis took command. In 1554, he forced a decisive naval battle, breaking the Portuguese line and securing a hard-won victory. But the sea had its own agenda. A catastrophic storm, the Elephant Typhoon, descended upon his fleet. It turned his ships into kindling and scattered his men across the waves. Stranded and stripped of his command, Saidi Ali Reis began a 3-year trek across the heart of Asia. He walked through mountain passes and scorched deserts to reach home, documenting his odyssey in the mirror of countries. This was the First World War of the Spice Era. It proved that in these waters, victory is never permanent. The sea demands a price, and even the greatest admirals are merely guests of the storm. As the spice trade faded, the black gold of the Persian Gulf turned the strait into the world's most volatile choke point. By the 1980s, the Iran-Iraq War ignited the tanker wars. The water became a graveyard. In 1982, the Turkish ship Atlas I took a direct hit and burned. 5 years later, the USS Stark suffered a missile strike that claimed 37 lives. The violence escalated. In 1988, the USS Samuel B. Roberts hit a cheap, hidden mine that crippled a multi-million-dollar warship. The hull buckled. Water flooded the engine room. It was a masterclass in asymmetric warfare. The tragedy peaked when the USS Vincennes fired on an Iranian passenger plane. 290 civilians vanished into the sea in an instant. There were no winners, only wreckage, oil slicks, and the cold reality of a waterway that refused to be tamed. The strait was no longer a trade route. It was a front line. Every ship that entered risked becoming a target. The world watched as the price of oil surged and the passage tightened. The era of the tanker wars proved that in this narrow vein, a single mistake could trigger a global catastrophe. The year is 2026. The tension has finally snapped. Following a series of military operations, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards have shuttered the Strait of Hormuz. The flow of oil has stopped. 700 tankers sit dead in the water, their engines idling in the dark, waiting for a signal that does not come. There is no detour. Unlike the Suez Canal, there is no way around this bottleneck. Beneath the surface, the water is lethal. Thousands of advanced sea mines have been deployed, anchored to the seabed. They track ships not by sight, but by sound and magnetic signatures. Any movement triggers a strike. The world economy reacts instantly. As the news hits the markets, oil prices surge 40% in a matter of hours. The shockwave travels from the trading floors of London to the gas pumps of every city on Earth. Factories slow their production lines. Power grids flicker with uncertainty. The strait has become a physical cage, and the key has been thrown away. The world is holding its breath. watching the empty horizon of the Persian Gulf, waiting to see if the pressure will cause the entire system to collapse. 5 centuries ago, the Portuguese fought for control of spices. Today, the world fights for the energy that keeps it breathing. The resource has shifted from cloves and pepper to crude oil, but the stage remains identical. These 21 miles of water act as a permanent, narrow vein for the global economy. When the flow stops, the world gasps. History is not merely repeating itself, it is tightening its grip. The same currents that carried the ships of Piri Reis now carry the weight of modern civilization. There is no escape from this geography. The strait demands a toll, and for 500 years, the world has paid it in blood, iron, and fire.